a group of 18 students wrote a test. Let's refer to them as S1, S2, S3 all the way till S18. 18 students wrote a test. If in the test one of the students made exactly 15 mistakes, one of them definitely made 15 mistakes, and that happens to be the maximum number of mistakes made by any of the students, then which of the following statements is necessarily true? Look at statement 1. At most 3 students made the same number of mistakes. What he's saying is, of the 18 students, at most 3 students made the same number of mistakes. Now we do not have sufficient information to say this is actually true. Why? Because there are 18 students. It's possible the 18th student made 15 mistakes. It's possible S1, S2 all the way till S17 everyone else made only one mistake, or it's possible all of them made 2 mistakes, or it's possible 5 of them made 1 mistake and the rest made 2 mistakes, 3 mistakes, whatever. So we don't have sufficient information to say statement 1 is necessarily true. We look at statement 2. At least 2 students made the same number of mistakes. Now how can we do this? There are 18 students. Can I ensure that each one makes a different number of mistakes? Right? Let's say the student 1, he made 0 mistakes. Let's say student 2, he made 1 mistake. Let's say student 3 made 2 mistakes. So until S17, he has to make how many? 16 mistakes, and S18 he has to make 17 mistakes, right? But the problem is, going at this rate, S16 would have made 15 mistakes, correct? S1 to S16, there are 16 students. For each of them to make a different number of mistakes, let's assume the first guy made no mistakes, the next guy made 1 mistake, 2 mistakes, 3 mistakes, 4 mistakes, so on until the 16th student made 15 mistakes. Now no one can make more than 15, correct? They can't make 16 mistakes and 17 mistakes, not acceptable. Now the 17th student has to make 0 mistakes or 1 mistake or 2 mistakes or 15 mistakes. Similarly, the 18th student has to make 0 mistakes or 1 mistakes or 2 mistakes or so on till 15 mistakes. Which means these two should come and share these numbers with some of them. It's possible the 17th guy and the 18th guy, both of them made 0 mistakes only. But still the point is proved that at least 2 students made the same number of mistakes, correct? 3 students would make 0 mistakes, that is the number, right? So statement 2 is definitely true. Option B is definitely true, right? When I have 16 people and there are only 16 possible numbers of mistakes, the remaining 2 should come and make 1 mistake or 2 or 15 or 0, and they will have company. There will be at least 2 people, or there could be 3 people making the same number of mistakes, right? B is true. Now if we look at C, statement C, the number of mistakes made by at least 2 students is different from that made by any of the remaining students. What we are saying is, the number of mistakes made by at least 2 students is different from that made by any of the remaining students. It's not necessarily that it has to be 2, it could be more than that. Or it could be 2 people make, let's say student 17 comes here and makes 0 mistakes, and student 18 also comes here and makes 1 mistake each. So student 1 and student 17 made 0 mistakes. Student 2 and student 18 made 1 mistake. In this case we can say at least 4 students made a different number of mistakes compared to the remaining 14, correct? So the question is, the number of mistakes made by at least 2 students is different from that made by one of the remaining. That's not quite true. It can be more than that, it could be less than that, right? So C is not correct. We can say that statement B, option B is definitely true.